Sometimes in fiction you have a character so fundamentally moronic, you wonder how they even breathe, let alone navigate fucking life. At first glance, you'd be forgiven for assuming Arthur Boyle was that character. But after finishing Season 3 of Fire Force, I realised something. The one shining beacon of plasma, the one gleaming light, the King of Knights himself, foreshadowed all of Fire Force. But first, let me tell you how you don't understand Arthur. I became engrossed in Arthur the moment he forgot he was using the wrong hand to hold his sword. From that scene on, he captured my attention completely and utterly, and he refused to let go. His delusions were not only funny and good comedic relief, but hinted at something to me. Arthur may come across as thick-skinned or downright too thick to understand when he's being insulted, but I wanted to look deeper than that. Arthur's delusions are a deep-rooted coping mechanism. Imagine this for a moment. You have a loving family, a playful mum, and a happy dad. I know it's a bit of a stretch for you, but imagine you wake up and see a note telling you they've left you. It would completely shatter your world. At first, I'm certain he viewed it as some kind of game, but as time grew, he didn't believe he was a knight protecting his home because it was fun. It was how he coped with the reality of abandonment. He clings onto that fantasy out of sheer necessity, nothing else. Even for a second, if he drops that idea, he'd be crushed. I mean, I might be biased, but his fights are actually flawless. The best of the show, in my opinion. I personally thought the ending did feel a little rushed. Some fights were resolved a little too quickly. But Arthur did not disappoint. He ate up every fucking second of his screen time. But that did make me think a little. He fits right in here. Which leads me into my next topic. How Arthur Boyle foreshadowed Fire Force and the ridiculousness of Season 3. Not saying it's bad. They might be asking, hey, world-renowned genius and his Matman, aren't you reaching a little here? To that I say, why thank you, handsome viewer, who definitely has a hot date later. But I'm not reaching. From the latter half of Season 1, it became clear that Arthur's fantasies affected his strength. Yeah, think of the horse scene, which fucking made me piss myself laughing. And do you know what the great cataclysm is? It's the images in our mind directly affecting reality. And who has been doing this before it was cool? The Night King. I believe those scenes were subtle hints at the ending to Fire Force. Arthur's strength being directly tied to his delusions is the biggest piece of foreshadowing available in the series. Personally, as I said a second ago, I was very blindsided by the shift in Season 3. I mean, I thought the Great Cataclysm would purely be like some fucking Amaterasu-style flames merging the world, or like some big volcanoes. I never, in my wildest fucking dreams, would have bet on doppelgangers with strength based on how you're perceived being a big plot point. In fact, I kind of thought it just didn't fit in the series. But then I saw Arthur, who in the sudden shift fitted completely perfectly, and it brought a question to my mind. Has he always been like this? The answer is yes. Arthur was staring right into our very souls and screaming the imagination meta, but we were just simply too blind to see it. So there you have it. That's how I think Arthur Boyle foreshadowed most of Fire Force Season 3. If you think I'm stinky and poo-poo and I've made this up in my head with my giant delusional schizophrenic thoughts, please feel free to tell me below that I should be put in a mental asylum.